New evidence is linking the man accused of murdering a 10-year-old Rockford girl to another woman who was found dead last Wednesday in Schaumburg.
Police say the 24-year-old was found unresponsive in a hotel room near Woodfield Mall.
Casey Cronus is live in Schaumburg with the latest. Casey.
Little information has been released about what that key evidence is, but investigators say Antonio Monroe was with Natalie Negre before her body was discovered.
Last Wednesday, Schaumburg police were called to Mainstay Suites on Bank Drive, where Natalie Negre, or Tay as loved ones called her, was found dead in a hotel room. According to her obituary, she was laid to rest Monday, just one day before she would have turned 25. Now, Schaumburg police are revealing shocking new information about the person who may have been the last to see her alive. Officials say they have evidence to show that 44-year-old Antonio Monroe, a registered sex offender, was with Negre before her body was discovered. Monroe, who lives in Blue Island, was just charged with kidnapping and murdering 10-year-old Destiny Huggins on Saturday, only 3 days after Negre was found dead. Huggins was just steps from her Rockford home when police say Monroe took her and her 6-year-old sister, who managed to escape. In connection with the girl's death, Monroe is charged with first-degree murder, attempted murder, 2 counts of kidnapping and strangulation, and his bail has been set at $5 million.
The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office says Negre's cause and manner of death is still pending. Meantime, we contacted Mainstay Suites, where her body was found, to request a statement, but we were told to call back in the morning.
News now. A verdict is in for the Scott Brooks murder trial. As we've said, the jury found Stephen Staples and Terry Conner guilty in the 2019 killing, delivering that decision in just a few short hours. The judge just sentencing them in the last 2 minutes. Both men will spend the rest of their life in prison. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre has covered this case from the very beginning, joining us live outside the courthouse now. Jesse, nearly at the end of this, the jury did not take very long. It seems like a unanimous verdict. What else can you tell us from inside the courtroom?
Well, you know, it was an emotional day, and, hours and weeks of trial and testimony and so forth. The jury deliberated for just over 3 hours and came back with a guilty verdict for first-degree murder for both Terry Conner and Stephen Staples, again 6 years after this deadly robbery that shocked the Charlotte community. Now, closing arguments started with the prosecution describing the crime as a calculated ambush. They, talked about the men staking out Brooks Sandwich House before the deadly robbery on December 9th. They emphasized cell phone data that placed both defendants near Brooks Sandwich House on the morning of the murder. And the jury siding with that, the prosecution, despite the defense poking holes in the case. Now they are charged. They're facing several charges, including kidnapping, robbery charges, possession of a firearm. They were found guilty on all of those. Scott Brooks' twin brother David and Scott's wife also addressed the court, and the defendants saying they have waited 6 years for this. David Brooks saying that at this time, with the crime that is happening in Charlotte, that the court system did work the way it should in this case. He talked about losing his brother. He talked about losing his heart and soul. And he said, most importantly, that we lost a hero. But listen into some of the sound from court today.
I would like to say something to Mr. Conner, please, and to Mr. Staples. Mr. Conner, I just want you to know that I forgive you.
I do too.
And Mr. Staples, I forgive you as well.
Same here.
If you only knew Scott, not in the behind the scenes in the darkness.
Now, during the sentencing, the judge also getting very emotional, saying that this was a big loss for the community. He felt for the family members who spoke, and again, with all the testimonies that we heard today, he said that, he also wanted to, again, this is his job to, show justice at the end. And Staples did receive life in prison without parole, and we are still waiting to hear Connor's sentencing in all this. So we'll have that update when we get it. Live in Uptown, Jesse Pierre, WCNC Charlotte.
Jesse, I know it's been a scramble. Appreciate you getting us all that information. Of course, we'll update everything when we have that other verdict on how much time both of those men will stay in jail.
3 suspects attack and rob an Elkhorn woman in her own driveway. Thank you for joining us. I'm Quinicia Fraser. It's all caught on video, but the attackers are still on the run. KETV Newswatch 7 Sean McKinnon is live with law enforcement's investigation.
Quinicia, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office is still searching for these suspects. It happened today just before noon near 190th in Maple in a neighborhood right next to the Indian Creek Golf Course. I talked with the mother of the woman who got jumped. She says her daughter was at a bank and these attackers followed her home.
It happened in the blink of an eye. 3 people believed to be teenagers jump a woman in her own driveway in broad daylight. They steal her purse and as they're running off, land multiple sucker punches to the back of her head, knocking the woman onto the concrete. The suspects speed off, the video of the violent attack spreading among neighbors.
To see something like that in broad daylight the kids aren't leaving the house today. I can tell you that for sure.
Friday night, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office is searching for these suspects and asked the public to keep an eye out for their blue 2019 Infiniti.
We take this seriously. I mean, we cannot tolerate this type of violent crime.
Sheriff Aaron Hansen with a message to the attackers.
If you're one of these young men, if you're watching this, and if you did this, turn in your buddies right now, especially if you're not the one that committed the violence against this lady. We need to bring all of these individuals in custody. It's never too late to do the right thing.
It's scary more than anything that there's so many kids in this neighborhood. In addition to, I mean, they're trying to grab an adult in broad daylight with another adult right there. That's pretty brazen.
Word spreading among normally quiet streets, neighbors left in shock.
Glad I found out about it either way, though. That's something we need to know is happening.
Be observant, be vigilant. If you see a vehicle following you, don't simply drive back to your home or your driveway. Take some extra turns. If they continue to follow you, call 911.
Again, the suspect's car is a blue 2019 Infiniti. The sheriff's office is asking for the public's help in this. As for the woman who was assaulted, she was not seriously injured and is recovering at home tonight.
He was the one who shot 60-year-old Virgil.
He admitted it, but he was going to have to do it regardless.
Holden pleaded guilty to both murder and first-degree robbery.
I mean, I'm happy, but it's still never going to change. It's not bringing my dad back.
Stewart was walking here on the 15th Street Bridge on his way home from work at Family Dollar when prosecutors say Holden shot him, then robbed him with his accomplice, LaToya Dale. Court documents say the two were trying to set up drug deals over Facebook to rob the dealers, but Dale says Holden got frustrated when a dealer did not show. That's when investigators believe the pair decided to rob the first person who came along, which was Stewart. Court documents say the two took $6 off of the grandfather's body.
So I feel like I have to learn, this life by myself, and I'm not used to doing it by myself, you know.
Charlotte says her father played a huge role in her life and her 7 children's.
He was like everything. He worked, that's what he worked them 3 jobs for. Like, he helped me pay my bills. He bought my kids everything, like they were his world. He literally spent every dollar.
She says it's been hard to go on without him.
He was literally like just the #1 person in my life. And he's gone, and I go crazy.
Zachary Holden is actually in the Boone County Detention Center right now because he has a pending robbery case there as well. When we get the details of that case, we will update you. As for LaToya Dale, her case is also pending, so we'll continue to follow hers and update you when we can. But for now, we're live in Kenton County. Courtney King, Fox 19 Now.
A man who murdered an innocent 19-year-old girl inside her Tulsa apartment, then tried to murder her boyfriend, is headed to prison tonight. News on 6's Taylor Newcomb is live on the story. Taylor.
Lori Gregory Epperson pleaded guilty today to murdering his neighbor Kelsey Tennant in her very own apartment when she came home from work for a quick lunch break. He also admitted to attacking Kelsey's boyfriend by strangling him. Riley Allen had testified at a previous hearing that Epperson grabbed him from behind and put him in a chokehold. Allen said he wrestled free, then got Epperson's roommate to come and get him. That's when he found Kelsey upstairs dead in their bedroom. District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler says Epperson decided to plead guilty today as a way to avoid the death penalty. The judge sentenced Epperson to life without parole for Kelsey's death and to life for the attack of Kelsey's
2 years
boyfriend.
after a senseless murder shook the Tulsa community, the victim's parents are speaking out for the first time. Their teenage daughter strangled by a burglar as she took her lunch break. Tonight, 2 Works for You's Jitzel Puente sits down with the couple as they remember their daughter and shares how they're coping with her loss. It's a story you'll see only on 2.
We're sad that we lost her, and we lost her so young, but we try to celebrate the memories that we have, because that's all we have now.
It's really every day that the realization comes up that you won't get to see her and talk to her.
2 years ago, Michelle and Jeff Tennant received a phone call no parent wants to hear.
I think one of the hardest things that you can do is to say goodbye to a child.
Their daughter, Kelsey Tennant, was 19 years old and living in Tulsa when she was violently attacked by an intruder inside her apartment. A crime of opportunity, unimaginable to her parents.
You know, it shouldn't have happened. It just shouldn't have happened to anybody.
Happy birthday, dear Kelsey. Kelsey would have turned 22 this month. Her parents choose to remember only the good memories they have of Kelsey and the love she had for everyone she knew.
We just have to know that God had a plan for her life, and she loved big, and there's no other explanation other than God gave her such a big heart.
Kelsey was part of the Pride of Broken Arrow Color Guard, enjoyed spending time with her family, and was always up for an adventure. And although they lost a daughter, they also gained a son.
I consider him my son. I mean, I really do. They were planning to get married.
Riley Allen was Kelsey's boyfriend, who was also attacked and strangled, but managed to escape.
You know, she loved being in color guard. And
Kelsey's parents say there are still reminders of them throughout their home.
That was just them. I mean, they loved hanging out and being goofy and carefree. And
these happy moments can easily be overshadowed, though, by convicted killer Gregory Epperson. I asked the Tennants if they would ever forgive him for what he did.
Honestly, I don't think so.
I just can't wrap my mind around having no remorse for taking someone's life.
It's something they don't think about very often. They just want to move forward and focus on their daughter's life, even when reality starts to set in.
The better memories are overtaking the bad memories of what happened as we've moved along, but I think we'll always grieve.
Reporting in Fort Smith, Arkansas, Jitzel Puente, 2 Works for You.
Now, Epperson pleaded guilty to first-degree murder in December and is serving life in prison without parole. Tulsa police detectives say he'd actually been a suspect in 2 previous murders in Tulsa, but wasn't charged because there wasn't enough evidence.
This frightening video over the weekend of a woman being dragged by a car in an attempt to stop robbers from stealing her purse at a gas station.
She spoke with Local 10 News reporter Nikki Mohan just this afternoon about what was going through her mind.
It scares me to death when see the video and realize what could have happened.
Seen here on surveillance video, Patricia Cox says she acted on instinct and adrenaline when she went after the man who broke her car window and grabbed her purse.
Heard this loud kaboom, turned, saw the glass shattering in my car, and saw a gentleman inside my car removing my purse and my work medical bag.
The 64-year-old grandmother reached into the car to get the purse, and that's when she says he pulled her arms in to grab her phone and close the door, the driver taking off with Cox running alongside the vehicle. At some point, they stopped and let her go.
This is what you did to my victim, and we will catch you.
There were two men in their teens or 20s in the car. They took off in a silver 2017 four-door Chevy sedan. Cox wants the community to help put them away before they strike again.
I just think enough is enough. I love South Florida, and I think you should be able to go pump gas at a Shell station at 11 o'clock on a Friday morning without being in terror.
Cox is healing well. Detectives said they did have some witnesses that gave them some information on the scene. They would like anyone with information about this crime to give Crime Stoppers a call.
A counselor at Wisconsin's troubled youth prison, Lincoln Hills, was attacked and has now been declared brain dead following a fight with a 16-year-old inmate.
49-year-old Corey Prue was declared brain dead yesterday so his family could proceed with organ donation. Prosecutors have charged the inmate 16-year-old Javarius Hurd with second-degree reckless homicide, felony murder, battery, and 2 counts of battery by a prisoner. He'll be tried in adult court and is being held on a $100,000 cash bond.
According to the criminal complaint, Hurd began assaulting a 25-year-old staff member at the Lincoln Hills Juvenile Detention Facility. That's when Prue stepped in. Court records say Prue was able to drive Hurd off, and when he chased him outside, Hurd punched Prue multiple times in the face, causing him to lose consciousness, fall, and hit his head on the asphalt.
The staff member injured in a fight with an inmate at Wisconsin's only youth prison has died. The Department of Corrections is identifying the victim as 49-year-old Corey Prue. He was serving as a counselor at the Lincoln Hills facility. Officials say Prue was one of 2 staff members attacked on Monday night by an inmate. Prue hit his head on concrete and was declared brain dead yesterday afternoon. The inmate has been identified as 16-year-old Javarius Hurd. He's facing 4 felony counts, including second-degree reckless homicide and murder by battery. Prue's daughter spoke during Hurd's initial court appearance.
I am terrified for his co-workers, and unfortunately, I have lost my father now due to this incident. Whether it was intentional or not, I do not believe that he is a safe individual to be around the public or other individuals up at the Lincoln Hills School.
Hurd did not return to Lincoln Hills. Instead, he's being held at the Lincoln County Jail on a $100,000 cash bond. A preliminary hearing date has not yet been set.
Recognize these 2 guys? Well, Beaumont police say they're wanted in connection to multiple robberies. In April, the suspects walked in with a gun and robbed the game exchange store on Dowland. Police say they sold cash and video games before driving off in a silver Hyundai Elantra. Detectives believe they're also responsible for a robbery in Liberty County. If you have any information that could help detectives, you're urged to contact Crime Stoppers at 833-TIPS.
State of Wisconsin versus Amani Smith.
20-year-old Amani Smith made his first court appearance Wednesday. Police arrested him in Milwaukee this week, 2 months after a suspicious house fire in Waukesha, a fire investigators now believe was set to cover up a murder. Investigators found 63-year-old Dennis Hilsey dead inside his home, burned beyond recognition. Prosecutors revealed today Hilsey had been stabbed to death before the fire, the blade later found still in his neck.
These charges are obviously extraordinarily serious.
According to the criminal complaint, Smith is accused of taking Hilsey's 1969 Pontiac Firebird and later trying to sell it, but Milwaukee police found it first. One of Hilsey's neighbors took a picture of an unfamiliar car near the fire scene the next morning, which was a key to ultimately tracking Smith down. Charged with first-degree intentional homicide and arson, among other things, Smith would face a mandatory life sentence if convicted.
That alone gives him a reason why he might flee the jurisdiction of the court. Additionally, at one point while the investigation was ongoing, when perhaps he understood that he was the subject of this investigation, he went to Tennessee and stayed there for a period of time.
But Smith recently returned from Tennessee, and Waukesha police and U.S. Marshals arrested him Monday in Milwaukee. He's held on a $500,000 bail.
Nick, were any of Hilsey's family members in court this afternoon?
No, they weren't. They did express their gratitude for an arrest in this case, but didn't wish to comment further.
Nick Bohr reporting live in Waukesha tonight.
Breaking news at 6, a hearing just held for a man charged with killing this local mother after she picked him up for an Uber ride. Christy Spacuzza's family just came out of court. Good evening, I'm Kim Gable.
I'm Ken Rice. Right now we're waiting for the video that police tell us shows Calvin Cruz holding Spacuzza at gunpoint. Megan Schiller is just out of the courtroom. Megan.
And this was Calvin Cruz's first time before a judge. He stood there alongside his defense team. He did not say anything, nor did he show any emotion when they played that dash camera footage, allegedly showing Christy Spacuzza's final ride as an Uber driver on the night that she was killed. Now, our cameras were rolling as the victim's family, along with the suspect's family and several attorneys, went into the courtroom today. We do want to mention that this hearing was delayed by more than 2 hours, so everyone was standing around for quite some time. And again, this was his first time before the judge, our first time seeing him. As the district attorney played that dash cam video from inside the victim's car, from inside Christy Spacuzza's car, her family members were in the courtroom, visibly upset. They had been played this footage before privately by the attorneys, just so it wasn't the first time that they were seeing it inside the courtroom. In that footage clip, it was about 20 minutes, we watched as Cruz sat in silence. He did not answer Spacuzza's questions. At one point, she asked him, "Did you have a good day?" During the 20-minute clip, all you could really hear was GPS directions that were coming through her phone in the car, giving her directions as she took Cruz to his destination. At some point during that call, you can see as Cruz moves to the center of the back seat right before he's about to exit the vehicle. She's trying to ask him exactly which side he wants to get out on. That's when he presents a gun, a black gun, and you can see him put it to the back of her head. She remains calm in this footage. She says many things such as, "Stop, man." Then she says, "Are you serious? I have 4 kids. What are you doing?" Cruz tells her to stop the trip, and then he tells her to keep driving. She says, "I can't do that." He says it again, and then ultimately you can see him go to grab her cell phone and also go to grab that dash camera, and that's where that 20-minute clip ends. Ultimately, we know that that was her final clip. According to Allegheny County detectives who testified, they obtained records from Uber. That was her final completed trip as an Uber driver on the night of her death. Tonight, Cruz's family exited the courtroom. They provided no comment, and Christy Spacuzza's family, the victim, they also offered no comment. Because there's a gag order in the case, attorneys that are involved also offered no comment. We'll have that video for you to watch in a later newscast. For now, reporting live, Megan Schiller, KDK.
Video serving as evidence in the murder of a Pennsylvania Uber driver, and we want to warn you, this may be hard to watch. Allegheny County police say the man in the back is the suspect, Calvin Cruz. You see Cruz get in the back of Christy Spacuzza's Uber. This was back in February. The video released by the court yesterday. Less than 20 minutes into the ride, police say Cruz pulled out a gun and pressed it to the back of Spacuzza's head as she pleaded with him.
Come on, man. I got a family. What are you doing?
I got a family too. Now drive.
What are you doing?
Drive.
Please stop.
Drive the car, miss.
I have 4 kids. What are you doing?
Drive the car.
Detectives say Cruz made Spacuzza drive for an hour while going through her banking apps before killing her. The trial for Calvin Cruz got underway yesterday.
It's like nothing ever I felt or could imagine. I love her so much.
Family and friends remembering a mother of 4 who was killed while driving for Uber. Tonight, dozens of people gathered in Pitcairn to honor Christina Spacuzza. Police say an Uber passenger shot her earlier this month. Royce Jones was at that vigil tonight. Royce.
Yeah, Ken, it was really emotional. Right now, the family of Christy Spacuzza, for the most part, are holding on to their faith to get them through these very dark times. Their lives have been turned totally upside down, but they say that the support that they've received from all of you at home has really been a bright spot. Friday, a candlelight vigil for the public to pay their respects to Christy Spacuzza.
It's like nothing ever I felt or could imagine.
A few dozen showed up, many of them strangers offering support to Spikuza's family and friends. Police say Spikuza was driving for Uber earlier this month when, according to police, her passenger, Calvin Crew, held her at gunpoint and killed her. Spikuza's fiancé and mother-in-law still shattered and stunned.
Her children meant the world to her. Her kids were everything to her and me.
Christy, I loved you even though I rarely said it. I was out there looking for you the moment that Brandon called me, as well as her brothers and other friends, just like a daughter to me.
And tonight, Spikuza's fiancé Brandon Marto also demanding changes to Uber's privacy policy, saying his tearful pleas for information from the company between the time she went missing and when her body was found got him nowhere.
The police called. Nothing. But they cooperated. They cooperated by telling them to go get a warrant or a subpoena. That's how they cooperated. And they would release nothing until that happened. That has to change.
And the family also wanted to thank everybody for their prayers and support. They also wanted to send a thank you to the local authorities who helped catch her suspected killer.